like last summer. So, oh yeah, so the recording started. But anyways, hello everyone. Um, hello. I am very sorry about that. I got like the pop-up that like the meeting started recording and I accidentally clicked leave. So you guys are on week 7, right? And I get like a response in the chat or whatever. Simple yes, no question. Okay, cool. So let's get started on this right now because this is going to involve downloading stuff, which may take a while for some people. So go, okay. So let's just start downloading this right now. Go to this, look up PyCharm. Here, let me send the link in the chat. But you guys all need to download this. What is going on? Good question. I mean, basically, I'm the substitute teacher for today because Jack, who I guess is the normal teacher, is not available right now. So, yes. But we should be following the same curriculum, I think, because these are like the same slides that, I don't know, if the curriculum is the same as like it was last year, then. So yeah, basically everyone go to this link. Let me send it again just in case you guys didn't see it. So today we're going to start using an IDE. And so I'll explain what an IDE is later. You guys can start downloading this first because this will take a little while to download and I don't want half the class to just be waiting for this to download. So download PyCharm. And while you guys are doing that, I'm going to explain what an IDE is. So far, you guys have probably all written code in the Python interpreter window. Is that correct? Like the little window that pops up like here if you download community because that's the free one. But yeah, I'm guessing you guys have so far been typing in the interpreter window. But in order to write more complicated things, we're going to need an integrated development environment or an IDE. So what is an IDE? Simply put, it is a tool for developers that makes development more convenient. So essentially, it makes it easier to write and organize your code. So yeah, we're going to use PyCharm as our IDE, as I just said. PyCharm is a really popular IDE. And hopefully nobody here has a Chromebook because last time when I taught this class, we ran into issues with Chromebook installation. But if you do have a Chromebook, don't worry, you don't have to get PyCharm. It's just like recommended. But if you have a Chromebook, you can totally get away with not using PyCharm for this class. Does anyone have a Chromebook? Okay, I'm assuming that means nobody has a Chromebook then. But yeah, so you're gonna want to download PyCharm community version. And then here are some setup instructions. I'm not sure how long this will take for all of you guys to run, but this is just the normal install stuff, right? And then once everyone is installed, then we can continue. Oops, I am not sure. So last time we did this, it took a while for people to install. So let me, can people like raise their hands when they're done installing maybe, so then I can get a good idea of like how many people are done? And if anyone runs into issues with installation, just let me know. Hopefully it doesn't take too long, but this is kind of PyCharm is kind of a big IDE, but in the meantime, I might as well show you guys what it looks like. So like this is what the PyCharm IDE looks like. You can see like on the side you have like all your files and whatever. And this is like the project name. This is something that I was working on. I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with Arduino, but I was essentially trying to get data out of like an Arduino, like the serial port of an Arduino. That's what I was trying to do here. But for this, we're going to make a new project. Okay. Wait, what are you lost about, Lucy? Just like, you have anything?
I can't find how to get to that screen.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because you need to create a project first.
How do I create a project? It says it finished downloaded, and now there's a black thing in the corner. It says cookies and RP address a lot of and stuff. I don't.
A black screen?
Yeah. There's a black thing in the corner.
Right, that's weird. Do you want to share your screen? I can take a look at it. I know PyCharm can be kind of weird sometimes, but.
It says.
Oh, yeah. So you want to go through the normal setup. Just click next.
Yes.
Yeah, just click next. Oh, I don't know if you're sharing your entire screen. I only see like the little like setup box. Did you click next on the setup thing?
Yes, I clicked yes.
Okay, I don't think I can see your screen properly.
Maybe there's something wrong with the fact I'm using like a big screen monitor thing.
Oh yeah, probably.
Wait, if I'm over here, can you see it?
No, try clicking share screen again, but this time like just share your entire screen.
Oh, here.
Like if you click on like the very first option when you screen share. Yeah, I can see your monitor now, I think.
Oh wait, no, that's my other screen now.
Oh, okay.
Screen 2. Here. This one. Now can you see it?
Yeah. That I can see your browser.
And I don't know what to do from now. It says download here, but I already downloaded it and it finished downloading.
Where's the setup file?
What?
Wait, try going to like the bottom left corner and just searching PyCharm. Or isn't it like that little icon at the bottom right there? In like your windows at like the very bottom bar of your desktop, I mean.
Yes, here?
Yeah. Try clicking on the PyCharm icon. Yeah, click next.
Next.
Yeah, just keep clicking next. You can go through all like the default stuff.
Install.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Now it's actually installing.
Oh, I didn't get it. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, cool. If you're done downloading, just raise your hand so I can have an idea. And by like done downloading, I mean like you need to finish installing everything, not just like the little setup thing. So like it should take like a little while. But yeah, I don't want to just like sit here for too long though. So if it starts to take too long, then I'll just continue because it is kind of a big file, but hopefully we can get most people download. Like, are people like mostly like what percentage of downloading are people at about right now? Okay, cool. Okay, if most of you guys are close, then I'll wait for a little while longer so that we can all be on the same page-ish moving forward. Okay, cool. Looks like at least half of you guys are done. For the people remaining, are any of you guys like close or?
I think I like closed it or something. I tapped on the finish button, and then the thing just disappeared. I
I
don't.
think it should probably be launching, but sometimes it takes a little while.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. PyCharm is kind of because it's a very big program. So it takes like a little bit, it takes a little while to open up
I
usually.
think my dad has it.
Oh, really? Yeah, I'm not surprised. Most people I know who code in Python use PyCharm, which is a lot of people. So I think PyCharm is pretty popular. Okay, Eric, if you're almost done, then like I'll just wait for you to finish. And then I don't know about everyone else, but okay, cool. So for the rest of you, I don't even know if I've heard from any of you in the chat. So I will just continue on then. And hopefully you guys, I mean, these slides will be posted in the Google Classroom later. So if you need to go back and reference, huh? Did you what? Oh, yes. I think you need to give it permission to do that. Otherwise it won't download. But yeah, these slides will be posted in the Google Classroom later. So if you guys end up falling behind and can't go back, then you can just go look at the slides later. Oh, I can also share this. Hold on. I'll share the PowerPoint also. So then like you guys can look at it during this class also. But anyways, you guys can all put your hands down now. And we will continue with the lesson. Okay. So first, actually here, let me just share my whole screen. Okay. So first we want to create our first project. So, I mean, your window will probably look a little bit different from mine, but if you want to you go to this top left corner and go to new project, or I don't know if when you first install, I think it'll probably prompt you to make a project, but you want to title it first project up here, like this. And you'll probably see all these like project interpreter settings. So like PyCharm is kind of essentially like when you create a new project in PyCharm, it'll create like a virtual environment. You don't need to worry too much about how this works. This is all kind of like complicated. So don't worry about this for now. Oh, yours still hasn't completely downloaded? How close is it? I would still want to like get to the rest of the lesson though. But again, I just put the instructions in the chat, so you should probably be able to catch up, or if like there's like a majority vote that like wants me to slow down, I can also just wait. Oh, it still hasn't appeared.
Like it's downloaded, but I still don't see any new windows popping up.
Okay, maybe you did accidentally close it. Just like go over here and type PyCharm and see if it like, and just try and open it from here.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it worked. But I can't open it. I still can't open it.
Huh, that's weird. Do you want to share your screen?
Oh, okay. It's good now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it usually takes like a couple seconds to boot up. But anyways, you guys want to create your first project, you can title it first project. And then here with the project interpreter stuff, you want to create a new environment because I'm guessing you guys will not have existing environments anyways. And this base interpreter should be whatever version of Python you have installed. So it'll be like python.exe from like, mine is Python 37 because I think I have like Python 3.7, but it doesn't matter what version of Python, as long as it's Python 3 point something. And then you just want to click create. Let's open a new window. And you'll see it'll start creating your virtual environment.
I'm there, but my thing looks a little different from yours.
Is it like a gray box kind of?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's because you just don't have any like existing projects yet. So
I just tap new project.
yeah, just click on create new project. Oh, what is the code? You mean this code? This code is just stuff that I was like working on for myself. What location? It doesn't really matter what location. You can create the project in whatever location you want. But yeah, this code is just stuff that I was doing. I was working for this professor and he wanted me to try and find a way to get data out of Arduino through Python. So I don't know if you guys know what Arduinos are, but they're like little microprocessor things. But yeah, you don't have to worry about any of this. This is just stuff that I was doing. Anyways, when you start up a new project, it should look like this. As you can see, it looks pretty empty. You have your virtual environment. You don't have to worry about any of that though.
What's the tip of the day thing?
Oh yeah, PyCharm just does that. It gives you like little like tips on like how to use it more effectively or whatever. You can just ignore that. Okay, does this make sense to everyone so far? Okay, cool. Then let's move on to the package.
Oh, I think I've got it now.
Okay, cool. So now we want to create a package called com.aoe.stem. And so going here, you want to right click on this like folder, or you can go up here and try to do file new. But I think it's easier to right click on like whatever folder you want to create the new thing is. So make sure you right click here and not here, because you don't want to make it within like the virtual environment. You just generally don't want to touch the virtual environment. So you want to right click on first project, and then you want to go to new, and then here you can see like all these different options for stuff you can make.
How does it know my name?
Huh? Wait, what? You click the create project stuff, but it's still loading. That's okay. How long has it been loading? I mean, if it hasn't been that long, it should still be fine. It does take a while to create a project. I mean, like, it took like several seconds for me, so.
Yeah, it showed. I just created it and it's showing me an example script. Can I just delete it?
Oh yeah, you can delete the example script.
Okay.
I think. I didn't end up with an example script, but I think you should be fine to delete it. You don't really need an example script. But okay. Can I move on, or does someone, okay, creating virtual environment, yeah. You don't have the folder first project, okay. What did this should be whatever you like named your project. If this is like what you originally named your project, then it should be fine. Let me see. Publish with the script anywhere. I think that's probably what you just sent is probably just the example script. It might be because you guys have a newer version of PyCharm. My version of PyCharm is from 2018 because I've just been too lazy to update it. But I think that's just an example script. So yeah, you can delete that code.
My thing is not letting me like change the name. I don't know, like it just says main py and it's main.py on the top, and then it gives me the area to write the code.
Let me see. Do you want to share your screen?
Okay. I don't. It's not like letting me name my code thing.
Hmm. Okay, yeah. Yeah, this makes sense. So if you can right click on it and I think it'll give you the option to refactor. That's like the same thing as renaming.
Okay.
If you go to like the left, you can see it in like the file tree, right? Yeah, if you right click there, it should give you the option to refactor. It's like kind of in the middle to the top.
Oh, here.
Yeah, yeah.
Rename.
Yep. Refactoring is essentially like a fancy way of renaming, except for it also renames it like in your other code. So if you have like code that like references this file name and then you want to refactor it, refactoring it essentially like renames it like everywhere. So then you don't have to worry about things breaking because you have the wrong, because you changed like the name.
Wait. Can I like rename it anything, or does there have to be like
Yeah, you can rename it anything, but we're not going to use it anyways.
like some? Does there have to be like some specific word
No,
with
there's
the
no
name?
specific name that you need.
Okay. They don't really care.
No. But like what we're going to do is we're going to create a package first and then create stuff in it. So you can just rename this whatever you want. You could also delete it if you want. Yeah, I can go over creating a new project again.
I think I did.
Wait. Could you stop sharing so then I can share and show the other person how to create a new project? Yeah, so your screen might look different than mine because mine is like I already have a project open, but you should be able to go to file, new project, or you should just have like a button on your screen that says new project. And then you can just put in your project name. Wait, raise your hand if you've like successfully like created your first project, like created the project. Just to get an idea of where people are. Okay, so for people who haven't created a project yet, like what are you confused about something, or is it just taking a while to download, or let's see, how can I change the background from black to white? Oh yeah, you can go to settings, I think, and you should be able to change your color scheme. I think it should be in appearance and you can go to theme. So here you can see this is the default, I think, which is Darkula. But what I'm in right now is IntelliJ, which is the light mode. But yeah, IntelliJ is the light mode. I think the default is Darkula. Settings is if you go to File in the top left corner, and then scroll down over here.
This looks like this.
And if you go here, you get a lot of cool settings. Wait, top right? Wait, what? Wait, do I know my directions? This is top left, right? Oh, interesting. Okay. Well, as long as you find the place that's called settings. Okay, so other people who are not done yet. Is there something that you are confused about? Or still downloading or what? I just want to make sure we have enough time to cover everything so that we don't end up behind schedule. And I know like these download speeds take longer or shorter for some people, so. Ooh, high contrast. I mean, you can choose whatever theme you like. You can even go crazy with custom fonts if you want. But okay, should I move on? Is there anyone who wants me to wait? Okay, I will move on to the package then. And again, these slides will be posted in Google Classroom, so you should go be able to find them. So then we're going to create a package com.aoe.stem. So like I said before, you want to right click on first project. And so this will make sure what you create is going to end up created in this folder. Otherwise, it's going to end up in some other folder. So you want to go here, new, and you can see like, you can create like all kinds of files. There's like Python files and Jupyter notebooks, you know, all sorts of things. You don't need to worry about most of this, but we're going to create a Python package right now. We're going to call it com.aoe.stem. And so what a package is essentially like a bunch of files together that kind of like are related to each other. And I'll explain more about packages later, but like stuff that you've been using, like when you do like import math or import random, right? Those kinds of things where you've been using functions from other places, those are all packages. So essentially like putting things in a package allows other people to use your code and stuff like that. So we're going to create a new package called com.aoe.stem. And as you can see now on the right, it's automatically created like a bunch of folders. And in it, like it's created a bunch of init.py files inside each of these folders. And so these files you should not delete because part of a package is that it has to have these init.py files, even though they're blank. But like that's part of like the definition of a package. So you need to keep it.
For the coding, like how do you run the code?
Yeah, good question. I will go over that. But if you want to look at like this stuff, you can see there's like a button in the top. This button, this is the run button.
What? I don't. Oh, here.
Yeah, yeah. You can also go up here to run and then just click run here. That also works. So anyone having troubles with creating a package? Yeah. So you go to like the folder that you want to create the package in. So in this case, it would be first project, and then you right click and then go to new. This gives you a lot of options. So then you want to click on Python package.
I did that, but I still don't see the thing. I still don't see the printed thing.
What do you mean by printed thing?
I asked it to print hello world, and then like I pressed run, and then it just shows me this, and then it just shows me this thing that he like some random thing. Process finished with exit code 0, and I don't understand it.
It should have printed it. I mean, here, let me create something.
Like, I mean, I don't see it.
Okay. Let me just wait a minute and then I'll go over like how to creating files and stuff like that. Okay. Once we get the packages. So let's move forward. Okay. Oops. Yeah, so we're going to create a Python file in this package. So again, we're going to click on this folder, which is where we want to put our file, and then we're going to go to right click and then new, and then create a Python file. And so let's just call this like, I don't know, example or something like that. So click OK. So now we have this blank document. And so you wanted to print hello world, right? And so if you want to run, you go up here to run, and then you click on the example because that's the name of our file. And you'll see it runs here. Did you get like this little pop-up down here?
Yeah, I got the same pop-up, but it doesn't say hello world there.
Interesting. Do you want to, what does your code look like? Can you just paste it in the chat real quick? Huh, interesting. Maybe do you want to just share your screen real quick? Oh, it says you don't have an interpreter. Yes, that is a common issue. Okay, because PyCharm is finicky like that. Hopefully you should have set one up when you first created the project, but if you don't have one, you can go to settings. And then over here, I think if you go to build, wait, no. Here, project, first project, and you'll find this project interpreter. So essentially what the interpreter is, it's like the version of, it's like what is going to read your code essentially, right? So you want to have like the right version of Python so that you can actually read, so that the computer can actually read your code. Oh yeah, by the way, you guys can all put your hands down. Sorry. Okay, you still don't know how to create new project. Ethan, do you want to share your screen maybe, and I can help you? I mean, I think you're already in a new project.
No, but I'm just. I think that's not Python.
This is Python.
This is Python.
Yeah.
Oh.
Don't worry, you're good. This is the right project, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Okay. Shall we move on? What do you mean? Like you mean move on from like to, oops, sorry. And whoever that is, mute themselves. But yes, how do you add an interpreter? So you can go here. It's been a while since I've done this, but you should be able to go here and click add. And this brings up this whole virtual env environment thing again. Wait, are you guys seeing this? Oh shoot, no, I didn't share the right screen. Okay, this. All right, so you should be able to, let me close this. So yeah, when you go to project interpreter, in the settings, you can go down here, project interpreter, and then you can click this and click add. Then this should open up this window. It says nothing to show. Okay, that's weird. Okay, Jonathan, do you want to share your screen? Yeah, 3.8 is totally fine. Yeah, Andrew brings up a good point. Make sure you're running the code you wrote. When you go to the run menu, you need to make sure you click on the right file. Yeah, exactly what he said. Okay. What he means by that is that like when you go here, right, you go up here and you click run, there's like, usually there will be like other options. So like sometimes it'll give you other options for files to run. So like, I think for you guys, it would give you like the option to run main.py, but you guys need to make sure you're running like whatever the name of the file is that actually has your code in it. Okay, Lucy, do you want, wait, is your name actually Lucy? I'm very confused, but do you want to share your screen?
I press run and then it just says this and doesn't say my code.
Huh, that's really weird. I don't, did you put your, oh, I don't think you put your project in the right place. I mean, your file in the right place.
What do you mean?
Like your file right now, if you look at like the side, right? Oh, and okay, you never specified your file as a Python file. You can see like at the top, right? It says first project, but it doesn't say first project.py. So when you created your file, you needed to specify it as a Python file.
How do I do that?
Okay. You can try to, it might work if you just rename it as first project.py. See if that'll get it to
Wait, how do I rename it again?
rename it, hit rename. Yeah, refactor, rename. Yes, we will learn something new today. Sorry, it's just PyCharm is confusing, but you can look ahead through the slides if you want to.
Wait, what? Now there's the first project and first project 1.
Yeah, try clicking on the second one.
Dude.
Okay, I think the main thing you need to, here, how about you just try deleting this file and then creating a new one?
What?
Try just deleting this file. Like click on the file in the left-hand side.
What do you mean the file?
Yeah, click on the file, go down to where it says first project.py. Yeah, just hit delete. Yeah, I know. Sorry. I don't like, it's kind of hard to balance between helping people catch up and learning new things. Okay. How about this? For people who are having Python problems, PyCharm problems right now, I'll give you guys another website to go to that you can code in, and then I can stay behind and help people set up PyCharm.
I do not understand how to delete it.
Okay. Just don't worry about it right now, and let me find here. Everyone who hasn't set up PyCharm properly, just go to this link. And you can do everything that we're about to do later in this link. So just don't worry about the PyCharm installation for now. And can you stop sharing your screen so I can start sharing again? Okay. So this is just like an online Python thing. So like if you run it, you should see this should work. Right, so you can type all your code up here. Just don't worry about PyCharm for now. And anyone who hasn't finished setting it up yet, I can stay behind and help you guys set it up. But yeah, let's move on. So first thing we're going to go over is user input. So there's this built-in function in input that you can use to get user input. So let's get rid of all this example code. And we can just say x equals input, print x. And you guys can type this in also. And then when you click run here, you can see like there's like this blinking cursor. That means it's like asking for your input, right? So if you input like hello world, it'll print out hello world, right? Because when you put in input, it'll essentially like it's asking for you to type something in. So we've set X equal to whatever we just typed in, and then now we're printing X. Oh, you guys did this last week? Okay, wait. Because I'm like working off of like outdated slides here. So you guys need to like tell me what you've done. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so
Some students, they have done that very quickly, so we can move on. But this is a very good review. Even I talked with Jack, so that's a good review to cover this PyCharm installation. So we can move forward after that.
okay. Wait, so have you guys haven't installed PyCharm though, right? Or did you guys already install PyCharm last week? I'm just confused about what you've done or not. Oh, okay. Okay, cool. So at least we didn't waste all of our time. So you guys, okay. So you guys know this. You guys know user input. Did you guys go over code blocks? Like while loops, for loops? Okay, cool. Let's talk about this then. So a code block is used to organize a block of code to do a specific process. So if you guys notice in PyCharm, things like indentation really matters. So like where your code is indented, essentially, if you press tab, right? So here's an example of a while loop. You guys can just copy this if you want. But if you run this, it'll do something. Okay. Oh, wait, oops, sorry. Hold on, let me get rid of the input. It was waiting for me to input something that was never going to happen. So as you can see, this is a while loop. And so we're saying we set these variables A and B equal to 0 and 1. And then we're going to say while B is less than 10, we're going to print B. So if we're starting with B equals 1, we're going to print 1. And then we're going to say A and B. So now this essentially sets A equal to B and B equal to A plus B. So if you guys know what a Fibonacci sequence is, this is essentially making a Fibonacci sequence. And as you can see, the stuff that happens inside the while loop is indented here. So this is kind of how we organize a lot of our code in Python, is we use indentation to indicate where each block of code belongs. Does that make sense? Has everyone gotten a chance to test this out? Okay, I'm gonna move on then. But yeah, like I said, indentation is very important. So if you don't indent the code, it's not gonna work. As you can see, the indentation error expected an indented block, because like if you have nothing after the while loop, it'll be like, well, you're supposed to have something here. And if you like press enter, you'll see it'll usually auto indent because it expects something to be indented. So yeah. So let's indent those again. So any questions about the while loop? Okay. So code flow control, conditional statements. So here, let me just, since we are kind of running out of time, I'll just paste this into the chat, which will probably mess up all the indenting, but then you guys can fix it and hopefully it'll teach you guys more about indenting or give you guys practice with it at least. You can see here, we have X equals input, right? We're going to get a number. And so we're going to say if X is greater than 0, print positive number. Else if, elif is short for else if. So else if X is less than 0, we're going to print negative number. And then else print 0. And so if we run this, you can see if we put in like 5, 6, it'll put in positive number. We run again with like -3, it'll be negative. And if we put 0, it'll say 0. Right. And again, we have like these indented code blocks. So we're saying this part, you know, belongs to this if. And so that's how if statements work. And we can do a lot of cool things with if statements and all that.
Like it's saying don't just randomly print it. It's saying if that happens, then print it.
Yeah. So if this number that we input is greater than 0, then we're going to print positive number, right? So this is like a conditional. Did you guys like go over like kind of like true, false, Boolean expressions? Yeah. So essentially when you have like an if statement or a while loop, it's looking for like a conditional, right? So you can like replace this like for essentially like if you tried to do like if you just did like if true, then it'll like print positive number no matter what you put in, because because you're telling it to do this no matter what if you say if true, right? So essentially this is like a conditional and it'll evaluate this Boolean to see if it's true or false. And if it's true, then it does the stuff in this block. And if it's false, then it just skips it and goes on to the next thing. So then it'll check this. And then if it's true, it does this. And then if it's false, it goes to this, right? So if all of these end up being false, then it'll execute the else. Does that make sense? I'll go into it a little bit more later. I think I have another slide on it. Yeah, I do. But yeah, any more questions about this? Okay, cool. So yeah, like I said earlier, we can, you know, do all sorts of conditional statements. Like if we say if manager equals Tom and money is not equal to 50, you know, that's another thing because we can put in like and or things like that. Or we can say if my fave in apple pear, you know, things like that. Or if something is something or if something is not something. So we can put all kinds of like conditional statements into our if statement. And so like I said earlier, if a condition is satisfied, the following block of code will be executed. And so the rest of the code blocks will be ignored. So actually, if we did something like this, like if we said if x is greater than 0 and else if x is greater than 2, right? So if we ran this and we tried to put in like a number that's greater than 2, like here, wait, let me change this to print greater than 2. And so if we run this and if we put in a number like 8, which is greater than 0, but also greater than 2, it'll only execute the first part. So it only executes one out of these given statements. Does that make sense? So it essentially goes in like order, top down. So it looks at this first, it sees 8 is greater than 0. So then it prints positive number and then it skips to the end. And it ignores like these two. Does that make sense? So that's why when you write conditions, you usually want to make the condition checks mutually exclusive. So that means that like you're never, when you write your conditions, you want to make sure you don't end up with a situation like this where something will never happen. So you need to be kind of careful with writing these things. What did you add, Lucy, that like doesn't work? You want to just like paste your code in the chat and I can see.
I think it works now.
Okay, that's good.
Okay.
But yeah.
It still apparently doesn't work now. Or maybe the file is too big.
Do you want to just copy the whole thing and put it in the chat?
Yeah.
Okay. And in the meantime, I'm going to talk about, so this is essentially like the full form of a conditional. So you can add as many else if statements as you want. So you can have if, blah, blah, and then as you can see, you can have as many else if statements as you want, but the else will always have to go at the end. So, okay, I see. Let me look at this. Please input a number. X is greater than
Apparently it doesn't work.
Are you talking about like the else if in the middle? Like the else if 100 is less than X is less than 1 million?
Yeah.
Or very big number? Yeah, this is exactly an example of what I just talked about, where I said you need to be careful with your conditions. Because if you look at your condition, right? If 100 is less than X is less than this really big number, right?
But then
This is already greater than 0.
yeah, but don't know how else to put it.
You want to change the order.
Maybe I can change the 0 thing.
You need to change the order so that you put here. Let me
you
just
put-
copy your code.
If X is bigger than 0 and less than 100.
So like this thing, right? If you have this, where you need to essentially change the order. So put this at the front and make that the first statement you see. And then so make this the if and then change everything else to an else if. That's one way you could fix it. So then if you run it like this and then you put in like 1,000, then it will say big number. Because it always looks at like, it reads from top to the bottom, right?
I think, yeah, it works now. I can just put if, for the first one, I can just put if 0, if X is between 0 and 100, I guess that works.
Yeah, so that's why you need to be careful about how you write your conditions to make sure that you don't accidentally create conditions that will never happen. Yes, we're moving on. Sorry, Andrew. There's not that much left though, to be honest, so I think we'll finish everything in time. Because there was like a decent amount of time just blocked out for like PyCharm troubles. So yeah. You can see this condition here. If X is greater than Y, blah, 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 it'll do this, right? And then a neat thing about condition blocks is that you can nest them into other condition blocks. And so the nested condition block must be complete in the parent block. So you can't like try and like have an if statement like cross several things. Like you need to close one if statement before like you try and close the next one, if that makes sense. But here, let me paste this in the chat also. Just to save everyone some typing time. But yeah, and as you can see here, like this little like line, you can see like this little line that like extends down after the if. This happens when you start to nest more and more things together, because then it kind of just helps you keep track of everything. It's just a useful visual line. Let's put in, I don't know, 3, 4, 5. So you can see it executes these things. So if X is greater than 0 and Y is greater than 0, then it prints all positive. And then there's another if statement in here that checks if X is greater than Y. So then you can nest your conditionals until the cows come home or whatever. You can essentially nest them infinitely if you wanted, and if you had the patience to. Although that's not always the smartest way of coding things, but you could. So any questions about this? Okay. So now a little exercise for you to get, sorry, for you guys to try doing these things and writing these conditions by yourselves. So ask the user to input 2 values and then print out the difference if the first one is larger, and print out their addition if the first one is smaller than the second one, and then print out equal if they are equal. So yeah, we have like, oops, sorry. Although I might as well just go over the quiz questions. since we only have like 4 minutes left. So I don't know. Huh? Oh, I think he was saying the no to like if anyone had any questions, because I think he wanted me to move on. So yeah, actually, I think I'll just go over the quiz questions right now but you guys can work on this if you want, but there's also homework. So you might as well just work on the homework. So quiz, given the nested if else structure below, what will be the value of X after code execution completes? You can just type your answer in the chat whenever you're done. Any guesses on the answer for what X equals?
Do I not understand something? Like, it says if A is bigger than 0, if B is smaller than 0. What does that mean? Does that mean if they're both true or
Yeah, so
if
this is like nested inside this, right? So if A is greater than 0, then it looks at like all this stuff on the inside. So then it looks if A is greater than 0, and then if it is greater than 0, then it checks if B is less than 0.
So basically and.
Yeah, essentially. Because you only look at all of this stuff inside this block if this is true, right? If this is false, then it just skips to the else statement. So all this stuff in this block only happens if this initial conditional statement is true. Does that make sense?
Why is there 2 else's?
Because this one belongs to this if, and this one belongs to the outside if.
Oh.
But yeah, the answer is 2. For those of you in the chat. So this else statement is for this if on the inside. As you can see, these guys are indented all on the same level, right? And then the outside else is for this if, because these are on the same level. So you need to pay attention to indents in Python. They're really important. But yeah, is anyone confused about why the answer is 2? Or can I move on to the next question? Okay, why did you think it's 3? A is not greater than 0 here. A is equal to 0, which means that it's not greater than 0. So then it'll jump directly to the else statement.
What? Wait, isn't that? Isn't, oh, I understand now.
Yeah.
I just couldn't work out the
You get it now?
so the ifs and the else's. Okay.
Yeah. Gets a little confusing. It's okay. You'll get the hang of it.
Because like it says if B is less than 0, which is true.
Yeah.
We thought that was like if B is less than 0, X equals X plus 3.
Now you can ignore all of this stuff about B being less than 0. We don't even care what B is because A is equal to 0, which means A is greater than 0 is false. So we don't even care about any of this stuff inside anymore. Does that make sense? Cool, next question. What is the output of the following if statements? This one should be pretty fast. If you guys remember how Booleans work. Yeah, the answer is true. Any number that's not 0 is going to be true as a Boolean. 0 is the only number that ends up false. So yeah. And then this is just your homework. I'll also post this in the Google Classroom. This is probably different than what your original teacher intended, but this is the homework that I assigned when I taught this class. So ask the user to input a sentence with at least 30 letters. If the input has less than 30 letters, not including spaces and punctuation, ask the user to input again. After you get a satisfactory input, find out the middle letter and its position. For example, if you have 35 letters, the middle letter would be the 18th one. And if you have 36, then both the 18th and the 19th would be the middle letters. So then you want to print out what these middle letters are, and then sort the letters in the sentence in alphabetical order, excluding spaces and punctuation. And then find the middle letters from that and print out the result. And you can write all of this in one file. And the process to find the middle letters should not be hard-coded, which means that you should be able to find the correct letters no matter what sentence you put in. Does that make sense? Are there any questions on how to do this? But yeah, I'll post this in the classroom, like I said. And this will be due next week. And feel free to like ask me questions about the homework throughout the week. Like if you guys like started it and like don't know what to do or like don't know why it's not working, feel free to just like send it to me or like submit it and I can get back to you. But yeah, any other questions? Sorry, I've run a little overtime here. But yeah, if nobody has any more questions, you guys are all free to go. And if anyone wants any extra Python PyCharm setup help, I can stay behind and help with that. Okay, so I'm guessing those of you left want PyCharm setup help. I don't know what order you guys want to go in. Whoever talks first, I guess, is who I'm going to help first.
It's still not giving me the result.
Okay, yeah. Do you want to share your screen again?
Okay. I don't understand why.